We've been talking about leading up to camp, and a guy that we talked about earlier, Gary Barnidge, big part of this offense. We hope a bigger part of this offense. And Dan Connor, a guy that right now running with the ones at middle linebacker, has a big opportunity for him. Fellas, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
We appreciate it. Does it feel different, Dan, being here as a starter? And this is obviously, something that wasn't expected until the Thomas Davis knee injury the second time. I mean, does it feel different right now being a starter? I mean, how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel pretty good right now. Just playing-wise, going to my third year now, playing-wise it's a lot easier. Picking everything up, much quicker than I might have my rookie year last year. So, it feels good playing out there and, being with the ones. Yeah, you expect more out of yourself, so you push yourself. And I've been seeing a lot of progress, myself practice. I'll use a great notes on what I need to get better at. And, my progress, it's really been going good.
What's it been like with Beeson being next to you and moving to the weak side linebacker? I mean, it sounds like you're almost splitting up kind of the calling of the defense. I mean, that's got to change. I would guess it's nice to have him there. He can help you a little bit. But how's that transition working for both you guys?
It's going pretty good. I mean, for me, I guess you'd have to talk to John, see what he thinks about it. But, yeah, he's calling the huddles, and he's getting the signals from the sidelines. And then, when we break and get on the ball, I'm making the checks and doing that stuff. So, yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a split job right now. But, he's in charge of the defense, and he's got the full power there. So, it's not too much of a change.
I think I'll talk to Gary because he's from Louisville, and I used to be there. Now, Mac loves Penn State, so you guys...
Yeah, I noticed we've teamed up here, apparently.
You guys keep your thing going over there, and we'll get back with you. Now, when you first came out of Louisville, I'm always pro-Louisville anything. When you first came out, I was doing the mornings here. I've been doing them for some time now. I said, you're going to be a star. I said, this guy's going to set the world on fire, and it didn't happen, and then they just buried me. They just buried me, and I'm not getting off your wagon. I'm not getting off your wagon. I still think you're going to be that, but that everybody gives me so much crap, so much grief. Can this be the year? Can you finally take me off the shine? Huh?
Well, anything's possible. We have a great group of tight ends that we work very well together. We all get a lot of reps, and we all get a lot of plays in. So it's hard to say one person's going to do it because we got so many playmakers on the team in general. For offense, we have all the running backs, tight ends, receivers, quarterbacks. Everybody can make plays. So it's hard to say just one person's going to have that breakout year.
Just like what Dan was talking about, though, also, do you have much greater understanding now of what's necessary for you to go out there and play tight end in the NFL coming in this season than you did last season?
I think a lot more because you learn more of the details now. You don't have to still pick up on every single play. You know a lot about the plays. Now you just worry about the details, the little bitty details of every play, like where your hands fit on certain blocks. And beforehand, you're just learning about the block. You're just trying to get to your block. Now I'm learning about the detail, getting my hands inside and running your routes precisely at the right depth and everything like that.
Now you caught balls from Jake Malone. Now you're catching balls from Matt Moore and these other three guys, and Jimmy Clausen included. Which one of them, and I think Cantwell, we talked to him about his golden arm, but Smith also gave him a lot of grief over, say, hey, touch, you need touch, and I think he knows that now. Of these guys, which ball do you, and I don't know if this is fair, which one throws the most catchable ball?
I don't think any of them throw, you can't pick out just one.
Okay.
Everybody has a catchable ball. It just depends on the routes, because different routes require different touch. So it just depends on the route you're running, and I think all of them can make every throw.
What they say about you is you're fast, you're tall, and you stretch the field. Would you say all three of those are true?
Hey, I'll agree with them if that's what they want to say.
As long as they're good things, he's going to agree with you, See, I want to let you know.
Well, I didn't tell you the bad things they said.
You know how everybody says your mother always will defend you and say nice things about you? Jim is like your mother here on the Mac Attack on this show. This man had you as is better than Kellen Winslow and Ozzie Newsome combined. I mean, just earlier this morning. And I got to tell you, I have a good feeling this year about you as well. You had 20 yards a catch for you last year as a tight end. It's pretty amazing. Do you feel like you're going to play more of a role in the offense this year? That's one thing that frustrates us as fans. We see guys with the athleticism that you have and Rosario have, and I know King has his role too, but we want to see more of that of you guys used. It frustrates us. Do you feel like there'll be more you guys use, or is it going to be similar?
I think we're working on the passing game very much, and
I think we're getting everybody involved. I don't think it's just going to be just receivers too. It's going to be tight ends also. I think everybody, running backs as well in the passing. I think everybody's going to be involved. So I don't think it's just going to be one-sided, just the receivers. I think every group's going to get involved in the passing game.
We're talking with Gary Barnidge, tight end, Dan Connor, middle linebacker here on the Mac Attack. We're live at camp, and it'll be Panthers guys and Steve Reed and maybe Darren Gant the rest of the way as we roll along and cover the Panthers. And Gary, I want to ask you about Jimmy Clausen because there's a big story back in Charlotte in the local paper yesterday about him, but I mean, he's been pretty darn quiet. And I don't know if that's by design because obviously, coming into the draft, the whole talk was about his attitude, and I don't know if he's trying to keep a low profile and just do his thing. What's your thoughts about him as a teammate? Because people tried to knock that during the draft, and also about the way he's playing so far.
I think he's a great teammate. I just don't think everybody's hyping up everything. I don't think he's worrying about that. He's not listening to all the hype and all that stuff. He's just going out there and playing ball, which is what everybody likes. He's doing a great job out there. He's hitting all the throws. He's picking up the offense well, and he's a good teammate. I like him a lot. He's a good guy.
Who's been the best receiver? We know Steve's out, but who's been the best wide receiver in camp so far?
I think all the receivers are doing a good job because they're all stepping up with Smitty's absence. They're all stepping up, making a lot of plays. All of them, even from Dwayne Jarrett to Kenny Moore to LaFell to Geddes, everybody's making plays.
All right, now Dan, I want to talk about you. Now, Jim, are we allowed to go back to our Penn State thing?
I'm gonna do Dan then.
I cross-examine your witness, so maybe you can talk to my guy.
I'm going diagonal across the table to Dan. Okay. Now you lost two really, I guess, the two top playmakers, as you would have to say that Chris Harris and Julius Peppers were the top playmakers on that defensive team, right? I mean, wouldn't everybody say those were the top playmakers?
And Davis.
Yeah, and Davis now being hurt, so for sure. Who are going to be the playmakers? I mean, does the defense, and I guess you can expand this answer if you want, but does the defense have to have playmakers, or can it just work as that group and that unit, and maybe that do not bend but do not break thing? But where are the playmakers going to come from?
Yeah, the bend but not break, that does work, but we do have playmakers. We use a couple guys, but there's studs on that defense. Sherrod Martin stepping up already. He plays last year, the time he got in.
He's the steady guy. You kind of look at him, but he's also a playmaker, right? And he loves to run. He's got a great running style. When he picks one off.
Exactly. Yeah, he thinks he's a running back when he gets it. But I mean, he's a playmaker, and it's a good young defensive line. A lot of athletes, we've had big bodies in the past, but these guys can move and really rush the passer, so it's going to be interesting to see.
Well, you're standing right behind these guys, whether it's Leonard. Now, I know he's been still kind of banged up. I think it's precautionary with him. But Tank, Tyler, Johnson, all these down linemen, all these guys, you're looking at their butts. You're right behind them.
Yep.
What are you seeing?
They can play. I mean, they can play, and they've been doing real well against the run, which is one thing. Going into preseason, you never know because you can't tell in the summer practices how you can hold up. But they've been doing a great job there, keeping blockers off us linebackers and letting us run a little bit. For me, that's the most important thing. Good run around and make plays, but. I've been impressed. I got to play behind Ed in college, so I'm used to him, and I know he can play, and the other guys, same thing.
What's the deal with Ed Johnson? I know you guys played together at Penn State, and Jim wanted us to get back to our Pennsylvania theme, so we'll go there.
Yeah.
What's the deal with him? I know he's had some problems, off the field, but he's released last year at the beginning of the year. There's talent there, and I can hear. In the way people talk about the camp he's having so far. What's been his problem, and do you think this is the place where he finally reaches his potential?
Yeah, I think this is the place, this is the situation. This is a lot like it was in college, where it's real structured and they expect the most out of you. And Ed's a guy who knows this is a big opportunity for him, and he's been killing himself.
I just let it really work hard and
he's had had a little trouble off the field, the past year or two, whenever it was, but. He seems like a different person out there. He's focused and he's really going after that job.
Every unit seems to have a leader. I mean, now we know Beeson is without question the leader of that defense, but also the line usually has kind of a leader. Is Tyler Brayton? Does he win by default? Is it Tyler Brayton the leader of the down lineman?
Yeah, I mean, he's the oldest guy on there, and he's a great leader, and he's a hard worker. He's a leader by example. He's one of the hard workers on the team. Yeah, he's kind of taking that group under his wing and kind of showing him, how to be a pro, how to practice. practice how to play, and even X's and O things, small things, technique. So yeah, he's the guy for that D-line. He's been doing a great job.
What player or coach, or both maybe, have you learned the most about in the NFL to play linebacker? A player and a coach that's given you the most advice that you said, wow, that's it. I'm using that. That's made me a better player. Who are they?
Player, yeah, probably John Beeson. I mean, has helped me the most. You know, now that I'm at the mic, I ask questions every day. You know, how do you play this defense? You know, what's your mindset going into this blitz, this coverage? The coach we have now, our linebacker coach, Coach Smith, is probably the best linebacker coach I've had as far as stress and toughness and technique, both combined. So, you know, I haven't been around long enough to get a ton of